Hello, this is James Governor, aka Monk Chips from Red Monk again, and this is another exciting episode of Opinionated Infrastructure. And today we're here to talk about Hadoop. Hadoop in the cloud and integrated systems and all that good stuff. What is Hadoop good for? Of course, we have databases already. What do we need another one for? Well, Hadoop is really good at counting and sorting. So what, I may hear you say? Well, I'll show you that sometimes counting and sorting can be a real pain. And I won't be long. Okay, these are ones. We got some fives out. Let's put all the ones together. 8, 9, 10. So I am Hadoop. I am Hadoop. Well, except I'm not really Hadoop, am I? I'm what happens when you don't have Hadoop. Mostly, this is rubbish, isn't it? So let's try and work out what Hadoop could do for us. Let's go. This way, folks. So Hadoop, as I say, it's a batch system, which is interesting, the return of batch. Because we kind of thought that batch was done. Everyone's, oh, batch windows, no batch windows. We're in retail, you gotta be 24/7. Oh, mainframe batch is bad. Batch is bad, batch is bad. We're going real time, my friends, we're going real time. And that may be true, but it turns out that as the data volumes increased, because while we were good and said, well, we don't need batch, because it's very easy to process these few meg or even these few gig. Once you get to sort of petabyte scale and above, frankly, batch makes sense again. Batch was invented from a time of resource constraints, and whilst in lots of ways we're not resource constrained, with the kind of data volumes we're talking about, yes we are. It's important to understand that, and there are probably a couple of alternative technology stacks emerging around this. You know, we got Hadoop, and then it was interesting to see today some announcements from Facebook about what they're doing with an Apache-based data processing technology called Giraffe. And the idea there is it's a graph search and it's written in Java, and they like it because their Hadoop people can kind of get together with that and understand that environment. So we've got graph search meeting Hadoop. Let's see if we've got some Hadoop in here. Yeah, I could just put my coins in there. That was kind of funny because the money counting machine in the bank just ate all my money. Like all of it, it's all gone. Because they were repairing the machine at the time. And they couldn't even get the money out. So not only could I not count the money, but I couldn't get it back. And the bit where it's maybe ironic, or whatever the bloody word it is that Hadoop, being a batch technology, you really don't want it to crash in the middle, because if it crashes in the middle, it messes everything up. So what we did before messed everything up. One of the reasons I'm explaining all of this is because of this. The eagle-eyed amongst you are likely to notice during this counting process that actually the amount of money is more while the amount of coins is less. Yeah, that's because I had to refresh. We'll see whether we can do some Hadoop on this. In terms of your decision making around Hadoop, you do have a choice to make. One of the things that struck me is in the bank there, it was free, but what I hadn't realized as well on putting in the money, another problem, it's free if you're paying it into an account. In other words, if it's part of an integrated service, you're getting your money counting for free. That's a good model. That's something to think about versus roll your own, but Hadoop as a service, money counting as a service. But then the alternative, and this is what I should have done in the first place if I hadn't been such a silly man, is go to a retailer and they've got money counting as a service, not part of your banking service, and that's something you have to pay for. And I think that's what you're going to see in terms of the vendor landscape. You're going to see Hadoop integrated into things. You're going to have kind of roll your own. We haven't seen any roll your own this afternoon, but there are going to be different models for paying for this. And what that essentially means is that if you're choosing Hadoop, you want to choose the right technology partners, and these are things that you need to consider. Like I say, is it part of an integrated service, or is it something you want to do yourself, which might indeed screw up or even go through a third party? So quality of service can be important. And again, this is the Hadoop landscape that builds out, which is really going mental. All of the data management players are building Hadoop solutions. Whether it's bringing some of their data that was in data warehouses and putting it into Hadoop for specified jobs. We're seeing a lot of interchange between Hadoop and the traditional relational databases, analytics technologies. Hadoop's very much a key context, and yeah, users have decisions to make. It's certainly not as simple as going, oh, Apache Hadoop, I've downloaded it and installed on a machine. You want it as part of an integrated, well, you possibly want it as part of a more broadly integrated solution. So the good thing about opinionated infrastructure is that it's an ongoing series. And you know, we may not have unlimited undo, but we've got somewhat limited undo. And it's a series, so I will find the money counting machine so that we can nail this metaphor. But in the meantime, I think it's a pretty good example that Hadoop is still a work in progress. It's not that easy to find something that's all completely working and sorted for you so you can get your money counting when you need it. And further, just to say, yeah, I know that IBM is keen to be part of this Hadoop conversation in the marketplace, in the industry. It's investing accordingly. And you should watch a show coming up quite soon where we're going to be talking about Hadoop, integrated systems, and making something that works rather than doesn't work.